Dun 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 dun. Wonder Woman. So luckily this movie is better than my rendition of the Wonder Woman theme at the beginning of this video, and if you haven't heard by now, Wonder Woman is the newest movie in the DC Extended Universe. It follows Man of Steel, Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice, and Suicide Squad, and is the fourth entry. We've got Justice League coming out at the end of this year, and movies in the DCEU have been divisive to say the least up to this point. Man of Steel I thought was very good, but a lot of people thought there was too much visual flair at the end of it, a lot of destruction, stuff like that, so like, pretty good, but from people. Batman vs Superman was divisive to say the least. A lot of people were not fans of how the characters in the movie were handled, not fans of some of the portrayals of characters in the movie. I thought it was good in that it set up the DC Extended Universe more, and that it was a prequel to Justice League, so it established that pretty well, introducing characters like Wonder Woman, introducing characters like Doomsday, Lex Luthor, etc. Suicide Squad I thought was kind of a complete mess, another divisive movie amongst critics and fans alike. I don't think it was edited that well, lots of character plot holes, stuff like that, just things not working out in that movie. But again, those movies aside, we now have Wonder Woman. This is another standalone movie. It could be kind of like Man of Steel, where it was focused, it was kind of isolated, not too much happening again with a larger extended DC universe, and that is precisely what makes this movie work, is that it doesn't have to tie into Justice League, it doesn't have to tie into Suicide Squad, it doesn't have to tie into setting up all these other characters, or worry about the continuity of the universe, because this movie takes place back in 18 or 19, something like that. It takes place in World War I, basically. And what happens is Diana is living on this island, Themyscira, and she's just going about her daily life. She's training, she's a warrior, she's really cool, she's really just kind of used to the way of life there. Her mother's Hippolyta, the queen of the island, and she's an Amazonian. She's doing what Amazonians do. And then this plane crashes in the water outside of Themyscira, and this pilot, played by Chris Pine, and his name's Steve Trevor, just kind of interrupts the daily life, the routine, and it's like, oh, there's this huge war going on outside of, like, Themyscira, like, that you can't see. So Diana's like, alright, I'm gonna bring you back, and we're gonna, like, get to the bottom of why this war's happening, and hopefully bring a peaceful resolution to it. And now we have our Diana standalone origin story, and guys, this movie is excellent. I was very impressed. This might be my favorite DCEU movie to date. I really liked Man of Steel, and I was surprised I might like this movie even better. And the thing that makes this movie so good is that it isn't like most origin stories. A lot of origin stories nowadays, it's like, somebody's normal, somebody has an accident or something that makes them super powerful, somebody gets a suit, and then somebody takes down a bad guy. This movie isn't like that. What happens is that, like, Diana does get her armor, and she does face off against a couple bad guys, but what you see is the moral compass forming inside of her. She sees the good and the bad, and you see why she stands for good. So a lot of movies, I love Iron Man, I love Ant-Man, I love the first Captain America, but a lot of them, it's just assuming that they're good from the get-go. You see Diana kind of forging, like, what her moral compass is throughout this movie. You see, she recognizes these things are bad and these things are good, and she's putting two and two together, and she's recognizing, I should stand for good, and this thing isn't bad. It comes from her upbringing, and it comes from her own personal experience. And seeing that kind of, like, thing just happen in this movie, seeing her develop as a person, is more than just her developing as a hero. It shows what she stands for, and that was really cool. It was something that I don't see in origin stories very often. It reminds me more of Batman Begins than any of the other, like, recent Marvel movies. But the other thing that really sets this movie apart from the rest is that this is an origin story that is full of hope. A lot of people that criticize DCEU say, oh, Suicide Squad was dark and bleak, Batman vs Superman was dark and bleak, Man of Steel was dark and bleak, and I agree with that. A lot of these movies are dark and gritty and everything like that. Even Man of Steel, he's like, the S represents hope. There was no real hope in that movie. It was a lot of, Superman avenging justice and stuff like this. This movie really embodies hope. It shows Diana stands for something good. She's optimistic. She wants to bring peace and resolution to World War I. She wants to make the world a better place in general, and that's really admirable of her. The brain inner working, moral compass development type thing wouldn't happen if we didn't have a solid performance from Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. A lot of people were critical of her when she was cast, including me, because she was kind of a model. She was just background roles before this. No real acting experience. She was charismatic. She was charming. She was clever, and I really liked her portrayal of Wonder Woman in this movie. I really don't have too many criticisms to say of Wonder Woman so far. The end does kind of become a big CGI fest of action, but I think that worked for what the movie was going for. The practical effects for 3/4 of the movie were really sweet. The CGI finale makes sense for what the movie's going for. The only real things I have problems with is that they have 3 villains in the movie. 2 of them were great. One of them was okay. I wasn't a huge fan of this, like, general guy who they kind of bring in, but, like, other than that, Diana, like, never gets dirty or anything with the movie, which is weird, because like walking through trenches and stuff like that, and Chris Pine's like covered in mud, and then she's just like, absolutely beautiful and perfect. But besides, like, the makeuping department, and like that one villain type of thing, I really, really wholeheartedly loved Wonder Woman. I was debating whether or not I give it an A- or an A, but for right now, I'm going to give it an A-, and at the end of the year, if I love it even more, then I'll give it a higher slot on my top 10 of the year list. This is the movie to beat this summer, guys. It really is something special, and it really, I think, is putting the DCEU on a bright, hopeful, and great track going forward. But guys, those are just my thoughts on Wonder Woman. Be sure to leave yours in the comment section down below. You guys can go over and follow me on Twitter. I'm at John M. Hayeck. Go to mymoviethoughts.com, subscribe to this YouTube channel for tons more posts from me. Links to all three of those are in the description down below. You guys can like this video, comment on it, share it with some friends. I am John Hayeck, and as always, thank you guys so much for watching.